Nelson for the first time. Looks like he possibly has. Hard to tell the colours, but yeah, I think they're still Powell in the lead. Second place comes into the right-hander now, which is David Garrett. Runs right through the corner, and then what happens to the Falcon? Bad job with the Richard Wheeler. Really on the money straight away. They're in fourth place, almost on the back of the Falcon through Nelson, but then loses a bit of ground as they head down towards the bomb hole. And as they head on the straight, of course, that's when the Falcon is regaining power and starts to pull away. So Richard Wheeler probably won't be able to stay with the third place man, Andy Edwards to the hill, but see what they can do as this race unfolds. Pretty nicely spread at the minute for the first 3, 4, 5 cars, and then there's a bit of a gap back to 6th place, and then the back end starts to happen as well inside the top 10 as they come through to complete lap number 1. Let's see what the gap sits out between the top 2. It's coming down already through Murray's. David Garrett's really made a good corner there to bring the gap down slightly to the Powers as they go through first and second. The gap is 1.1 seconds. Then goes the Ford Falcon, which is then further, what's going to be a couple of seconds back. Transponder issues for that car by the looks of it. And then behind them, as we said, it's going to be Richard Wheeler 4th and 5th place. Great start from Joe Ward in car number 61. Let's see what they can do about Richard Wheeler over the next lap or so. They're only 3/4 of a second back, so there could be a possible move on the cards here as they head in towards Wilson Hairpin. Top 3 turn their way through there. I think David Garrett's looking more racy at the minute. He's managed to get rid of the Ford Falcon, and straight away now going to start putting all the pressure onto the Powers out front as they work their way down towards Palmer. It's blue land at the minute that leads the way. Second land is the orange one of David Garrett, and then the Falcon sits there still with Andy Edwards and Stuart Liddell. And as they work their way through Palmer, what's happened with 4th place? Well, Richard Wheeler sits on his own for now. He's still got the car behind of number 61, which is Joe Ward, and then a big gap back to 6th place, which is that Marcos. That seems pretty secure at the minute in 6th, and then 7th place number 62. That been the car of Mel Taylor, which started high up the field but hasn't really made any progress whatsoever. We've got John Wolf, and also with them as well the car of David Thompson, which sits in 8th place. You've got the Moody's in 9th, 544, and then 10th place for 648, which is the McCullen car as well on the right run through Agostini for the second time of asking. But at the minute, it's all just settling down into some sort of order, and it's going to be the fight for the lead that really is going to push on here, because the Powers are being pushed hard by David Garrett as they again head onto the Bentley Straight for the second time. A 1.1 second gap it was. Let's see if David Garrett is already starting to eat into that. Not too much by the looks of it. You'd probably say the allowance should be pretty even along the Bentley Straight, but I think David Garrett, that's where he's losing the time, and then through the corners on the brakes, that's where he seems to close back onto the tail of the race leader. So through they turn once more in front of Nelson. The Falcon still sits there in 3rd place. Too much close at the minute. A kick on London in the Falcon to try and get them out. You can already see the back end starting to step out through Nelson, but the car at the minute definitely got that under control. Just get the show racing going on down there. Anyone running too much on the confines of the circuit, no one really running over the curve or going onto the grass. For a possible penalty. First obviously on black and white warning flag, but anymore then the penalties will start coming your way. And these wet conditions, it's very hard to keep the cars on the track, but everyone's doing well so far by the looks of it. Back with us once more. Now, stabilised that bit around that second there, hasn't, by the looks of it, shrunk. It hasn't really grown either, so Powell's holding it this time. Garrett comes through in second. In fact, it has grown slightly, 1.4 seconds it now goes down to. Edwards and Liddell next through in 3rd. Joe Ward comes through in 4th, so Richard Wheeler has lost the place on that lap, so Joe Ward going even better now as this race starts to get into the first few minutes. Joe Ward up to 4th place, so whether that was a mistake from Richard Wheeler or if it was just Joe Ward going quicker and quicker. Yeah, well, they both did their best lap time, to be fair. So a 3:03.6 from Joe Ward, but Richard Wheeler's best lap time was a 3:06.7, which was 3 seconds off the pace. So I think they're both doing what they should be doing, but just Ward is the quicker of those two drivers, and he's really making fantastic progress now. And he's even quicker than the Falcon as well, by about half a second on that previous lap. So I don't think Joe Ward is going to settle for 4th place. He's going to be into 3rd place before too much longer as he turns his way through Palmer. Joe Ward not quite there yet, and he's got a little bit of time to make up first though. He's about 2.5 seconds drift of the Falcon in third place, so it won't be on this lap that he catches up with the third place man, but give him time. He's got a little bit of clear track now behind and in front of him, so he should be setting another quickest lap before too much longer. As the leaders work their way down towards Oggies, still the same order. Howes heading away, very late onto the brakes there. Almost looks like they run out wide, but that's the line they want to be taking. As I said, it's the rubber that's been laid down earlier on when it was dry this morning. That's where you're going to find the most grip. So they'll be looking for the outside line. It almost looks like they run wide and almost off the track, but it's all good. It's all safe for now. And David Garrett not choosing to go on that line. He took more of an inside tighter line, which may have hampered him, but we'll see again what the gap sits at as they come off the Bentley straight, and we'll get a true idea of what it is when they cross the line next time, of course, because that's where our timing beam is, and that will get a accurate gap between the two of them. David Garrett when he runs off the track there as well. He's very, very close to the edge of the track. I think he was just a bit off the apex where he needs to be at Nelson, so almost made a mistake. Into the road there through the bomb hole, which is a little bit of time, which settles the car through there. Not an easy corner at all with the bomb hole in dry conditions, but it's even more tricky in wet conditions as well. They're all pressing on, doing a tremendous job out there. Rain, I think, is just still going, still coming down a little bit, not heavy, but it's still out there causing a bit of concern for the drivers. Anyway, here, a dry track, but that's not phasing race leader. Mr. Powell, who goes through, Eddie and Nick together for this one. They'll be out a little bit later on in the 2060s as well, so double duties for both of those today. Gap between them again. How's extended slightly? So now 1.8 seconds, side by side, the battle is on between Joe Ward and the Falcon of Andy Edwards and Stuart Liddell as they go up in towards the right hand of Richie. Joe Ward has taken another place, so when he starts 10th on the grid, he's up into third place by the end of lap number 3. So this is tremendous stuff from the number 61 machine, doing a really, really good job in that TVR Grantura. Seems to be the perfect car for these wet conditions, and Joe Ward is not hanging back whatsoever. The next thing for him now to do is try to get on terms with the race leaders, who have pulled themselves quite a way out the road now. 9.3 seconds are clear of the battle for third place, so it's going to be a hard task here for Joe Ward, but again, clear track, he's got the pace in these wet conditions. Let's see how quickly he can catch the top two, if he can at all, which I think he can, surely. His lap times are really, really good. Even with that pass on the Falcon, he did a 2:58.6, which is about a second and a half slower than the leaders, so this is going to be, as I said, the true scenario now in terms of if he has got the similar pace to the leaders, who both did their personal best lap times on that previous lap. It was 2:57.0 for the race leader, number 99, which is now the quickest lap of the race, and a 2:57.5 for the second place car of David Garrett. And Richard Wheeler has been for a spin at Agostini. What a shame for Richard in that Ford Lotus Cortina. Didn't quite see how that happened, but he's lost place to the Marcos, which is also making good progress in this race. Car number 19, that's Alan Tyson, Chris Connolly, and they are now to 5th place after the slight moment that Richard Wheeler has just had. So he now drops down to 6th place. Then there's a gap back to the number 62 car in 7th, which is just going through Oggies. Again, a little bit squirrely there, maybe a little bit slow as well. Not too sure if there could be an issue with that car, but it carries on regardless. That's Mel Taylor. Got 8th place for number 63. David Thompson shot one in 8th place. 9th place then for 648. Carlos starting 12th on the grid, which is Rich McCurry. And then 10th place for Chris Ryan, Mustang, which is also shared with the car of Chris Anderson. 58-year-old from Kent. Another managing director who likes to enjoy that time on track with a bit of racing. And when they're not out racing, they like a bit of power boating, offshore racing as well, endurance racing, and also a bit of pilot flying in helicopters. That's not a bad hobby to have as well. Mustang. Produces over 420 horsepower. Really, really quick car is that normally, but unfortunately due to the weather conditions it's just struggling compared to those around. It does run second in class, so not doing too bad a job. Class B leader is up there in 4th place, which is the other big mighty V8 for the Falcon. It's just headed this way now through Richard's corner. What's happened to the gap now? Well, race leader that time through Howard with a 255.6. Second place car brought the gap down with a 254.9, so now just over a second between the top two. Third place with the clear air, Joe Ward only did a 257.5, so it's not quite good enough to be on terms with the race leader, so that gap does extend. And then the Falcon now starting to lose a bit of pace, being caught by the markers behind the Alan Tyson Chris Connolly car. Number 19, who just took the place away from Richard Wheeler, of course, is now looking to catch the back of the Falcon, so some more progress being made before too much longer. As those cars go from Palmer along the straight in towards Agostini, that gap sits just under 8 seconds, but again, plenty of time to play with. It does mean that anything could change between those two cars before the pit stop window opens in about 6.5 minutes time. It opens between the 20th and 40th minute, 20-minute pit stop window for the Classic K, so that's 6.5 minutes before that opens, and we'll see who chooses to come in straight away or who's going to leave it to the last possible minute. It all depends on what your driver strengths are. If you've got a quick guy in the minute, leave them out there, get the job done, and try and make some progress. But if you've got a quick driver standing by, then it'll be very good for you to bring your car in straight away and chuck your quicker driver in and see if you can make some progress. But we'll see what happens with that pit stop window. Leaders heading off the straight once more. Looked like the gap was just coming down through Williams before they left us onto the bending straight, but I think now Eddie and Nick have stabilised that once again out front over David Garrett. The two Alans lead in the way, which you'd probably predict, as we said earlier. It's all about the weather conditions for this race now. If you've got a less powerful car, they can really try in wet conditions. Then got in third place, number 61, Joe Ward, Ventura, and the Falcon almost got it in here, Drew Nelson. Really enjoyed his time by the looks of it. So with it, he's almost compromising way within his race. Either Andy Edwards or Stuart Liddell. And then you got fourth place, still, so fifth place for Alan Tyson and Chris Connolly. They're doing well in their Marcos, and then through in the Ford Lotus Cortina, still pushing on again. Very daring is Richard Wheeler, but he will have control of that because it's not as a powerful car. So if you do a little bit sideways, you normally are able to catch that. So Richard Wheeler's showboating a bit through the bomb hole as he heads back towards the end of lap number 5. Leader's already on to lap number 6 with the gap growing that time round. In fact, David Garrett losing a little bit of time. Drops down towards it. 1.3 seconds, I'd say he's lost there. So the gap is now extended slightly more, but that's still putting him personal best lap times of the top 5 are putting their personal best lap time on that lap there. So conditions definitely starting to improve now. Everyone's getting to grips with where the traction is, and maybe, as I said, the race is off slightly, bringing the track into a reasonable level now. So we're all getting the lap time stuck in. Still with the quick lap of the race, 252.362. They head their way on towards the left-hander of Palmer. And the leader's already up towards Agostini. That is the rate of knots that are going at the minute. The 999 car has received a black and white flag. It's the first one of the race. There it goes across the line now, the Bell Street and Chris Anderson driven car. It was in fact just off the circuit, around the back towards Nelson. It ran over the curb, so that has drawn the attention of the stewards. So black and white flag for that car, just a warning about track limits. And did that car lose some place? Yes, it did in the process of running wide. Streak and Anderson have now dropped down to 12th place. So out of the top 10, which means progression has been made by the number 63 car, which is the car which runs in Class D, TBR Ventura. David Thompson and John Walton also making progress there with the number 648 machine as well, which came through. That was Richard McCohen, and so they both move up ahead of the Ford Mustang. Leaders down towards the bottom end of the circuit through Brundle and Nelson. Garrett is still still losing a bit of time here. The gap went out to 2.4 seconds, as we said. It could be extending a little bit more on this occasion. Just seems as though the Powers have got this under control, and David Garrett can't quite live with the speed of the race leader for now. Nor can the third place man either, Joe Ward, after a tremendous start. Still great progress has been made, 10th on the grid, but I think this could be as far as Joe Ward goes. He's a solo driver, just in the full 60 minutes on his own. David Garrett won't have, he's exactly the same as well. He's a solo driver. It's all about how they're going to stick him for the second stint, and if he's going to be as quick as the one that's in there now. It's all to be seen and heard. They go the top two through. The battle for what's going to be fourth place now is very, very close as well, because the Ford Falcon, which had a margin of 3.5 seconds a lap to go, that is not 3.5 seconds. I think anyone can look at that and say, yeah, that's down to about 3-4 tenths of a second. So it's Marcos against Falcon. I wonder who's going to win this battle. Well, probably in a straight line it's going to go the way of the Falcon, but wait for the braking zone. Marcos will be right there. Probably the Falcon will not even see it in its mirrors. It's such a high car. The Marcos is very low fluff, which means it can just dart its way through. And as they head up it towards Richie's corner, the gap comes down and down and down. Not quite enough for a pass to be made there for the Tyson Connolly car, which is now only going to be, once the transponder updates, half a second adrift. I think it's even less than that now as they go through up towards the Wilson hairpin. It's going to be nose to tail for fourth place. Falcon has the outside line to try and find the grip in towards the right-hander, which it does. It then gets back to the apex, then runs wide. The Marcos thinks about trying to get through. The Falcon will probably be tail happy, which will allow more power to be asserted to the tarmac, and the Marcos should be able to draw alongside, which he currently can't do, but he's still pushing and pushing and pushing as they come down in towards Palmer corner. And let's see now on the exit of the corner, in the Marcos again to try and get through. This is Alan Tyson, Chris Connolly, one of them trying their best to get another position taken away before the pit stop window opens, just a few seconds time. For now, it's the car ahead of them, the Ford Falcon, in the hands of either Andy Edwards or Stuart Liddell. Not too sure on that, because we haven't unfortunately received starting drivers for this one, but I'm sure we'll find out when the pit stop starts to unfold who has been in that car. It's a tremendous battle that we're watching, not just there, but also for the one out front, which is not that too far apart, is it? Well, it wasn't, and now David Garrett's in fact got 5.5 seconds back, so I think if he wasn't keeping with the pace of the Powers, that is absolutely correct. It's now over 5 seconds adrift, so it's going to be a hard second race for David Garrett to try and claw back that advantage, and again a little bit tail happy on the exit of the corner, but doesn't manage to lose anything. Plugs on regardless down through the bomb hole, as on towards Trundle and Nelson. S is now all on his own, unfortunately. It's now Joe Ward, the number 61 machine. The great progress that has been made has kind of come to a halt, but third place in this race would not be too bad at all for that TVR Grand Tourer. Takes its way towards the end of the lap. The Falcon and the Marcos are still nose to tail. The Falcon has the advantage, of course, onto the Bentley straight, but now through the corners it's going to be back advantage to the Marcos, which almost gets alongside again down towards the bomb hole. It's going to be a very brave move, which does come off. So through goes the Marcos finally, after attacking lap after lap, bringing that gap down, and the door has just been left open. But we hear the door from the corners, but can it hold it on the straight? That is the big question. If Andy Edwards and Stuart Liddell can get themselves back into contention and possibly take that fourth place back as the pit stops down there start to unfold.
Yes, indeed. So the 53, the Tiger, the lad, if you will, the orange and black car in, driver change already ongoing. And what a noise they make under acceleration as well, those little lads. And looked like a fairly clean stop there. And a big laughter, I don't really know why. I'm sure I'll get it explained to me later. But the 53 back out on circuit, clean stop.
And that was a quick stop as well for David Garrett. And I think, to be fair, the solo drivers will advantage from all of this, because they can jump out, jump back in, and that's done.
Yes, exactly.
Two drivers pairing it, it's going to be a lot longer to sort that sort of thing out, isn't it?
But of course, then at the end, especially in this, in particular the hour-long endurance race, the longest race we see this weekend, maybe driver conditioning comes in as well.
Yeah, certainly. We've got a car off, by the way, over towards Hamilton. The 544 machine has unfortunately lost it on the exit of the corner by the looks of it. So Jack Mooney and Steve Mooney, that car has come to a halt before Lotus Cortina, and to be fair, quite close to the edge of the circuit. It's in a prime position for other cars to go off and potentially end up near it. So this could call for a possible safety car, depending on what the marshals can do. They're on the scene at the minute, but of course with track conditions being wet, it's quite vulnerable for them to be out there. But double wave yellow flags will be down at Hamilton for the next lap or so, and the team of marshals down there, which is just a pair, unfortunately, is going to do its best to push that car to a place of safety, which I think actually they're going to achieve.
Richard McConan, one of the leading Class M cars, I believe that. Richard was quite impressive in the earlier qualification session. Fairly slick pit stops so far, struggling with the belts a little bit, but should be back underway in shortish order. Door is shut, engine is ignited and underway for Richard in the 648 MG. And the hard-working marshals have done a fabulous job. Well done, guys and girls down there, to get that car out of harm's way. So we are not going to need the safety car, which is fantastic. It means the race can run unharmed and untouched by the safety car, and it doesn't affect anyone's pit stops. Then that is sometimes what goes through the races with the pit stops and the safety cars. But it's all looking good. That car has been pretty much received. The pound has gone through very, very slow up towards Richie's corner. So is this a problem for our race leaders? They are trundling their way through Richie's corner. So the pals are not on full pace at the minute. So there could be an issue here for the race leaders. Have they emerged from Richie? Yes, they have, but very, very slow. Got the Mustang of Mel Street and Chris Anderson. That's off as well through Oggy. Very, very wide, and just managed to recover there. But the pals, I think, are in stride. Yes, they are. They're very slow up towards the Wilson hairpin, and they're going to pull off the track by the looks of it. So Eddie and Nick Powell have done such a tremendous job in this race. They led by about 6 seconds, but all now has come to nothing in this one, as the car has pulled off just before the approach to the Wilson hairpin. A massive shame for them, and if there was an issue a little bit sooner, they may have just been able to dive into the pit lane, but it's a full tour of the 3-mile circuit, which they're not even going to make it past the first or at least second corner. So the pals are unfortunately done in this race. The local lad pulled up very thoroughly as they passed it by the looks of it, and he will eventually take over the race lead once again. But what a massive shame for the pals. And that car then pulls off, and they are not going to take any further part, as we said. So drama in this one, the Classic K Series. The yellow flags will wade through Richie then, just to warn everyone that the car is in a position which might affect some people, but it will just be able to be pushed behind the Armco barrier by the looks of it. So the marshals again will be hard at work to try and retrieve that one. And now we wait to see who comes through next up. I think it's going to be the Joe Ward's car, in fact, because he ejects late pit stop.